What up, Jody? What up, Bricked? The basketball wall is crazy. I know it's dope, right? It's fire. I'm gonna make a better one when I move too. I want to make my own basketball book, low key, and just have my logo on the front of it, and just like take my own pictures, and probably obviously I'd get like other people, but we need a modern basketball. That's matter of fact, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm doing a modern basketball book. There. I'm gonna have like some of the best photographers in the world that take current NBA pictures and just find some good shit. You know what I mean? Like, cause there's some. It's really just called the basketball book. I don't remember who made it. I could go get the cover. Give me a second. I'll go grab it. Yeah, here it is. It's Sports Illustrated. So there's two of them. One was the college basketball book, which is like this one right here, which is fire. There's the back of it. And then there's just the regular basketball book, which I had this book when I was a kid. And I rebought it because I can't remember what I did with the other one. But yeah, this used to be my favorite book as a kid. Like the pictures are so sick in there. So I just tore them all out. I have a video floating around somewhere. I have to repost it of how I made this wall, but I documented how I made it and me like selecting all the, but it was like a time lapse. And so it was me selecting all the pictures out of there and like ripping them up and putting them in order how I wanted them, because I put these ones in like a specific way, because then when the camera's on me, like you could see those specific ones, but I didn't know I was gonna be like from this angle, so like think in this row there's Iverson, T-Mac, Kobe, Steve Nash. So like those were four of my favorite players growing up, so like they were right in the center so you could see them every time I filmed. And then like right around me, I got the GOAT right there, two GOATs. Got Larry. There's George Gamble gambling on the plane, which y'all can't see him. I'm not going to turn my camera, but he really is. They're playing cards. Him, Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper. And then above, I got the MJ shot up there. Steve Nash when he broke his nose in the playoffs. I remember that. The shit would not stop bleeding. And then I got LeBron right there, which, yeah, you can see him. That little, like, black shadow. It's LeBron. His rookie year, so. No Melo. They didn't have any Melo pictures in there, bro. I would have put it up. They literally didn't have a single Carmelo Anthony picture in there, which that's a damn shame in that basketball book. Are you crazy? You won the national title and you don't have a fucking picture in the basketball book? Nuts. Sports Illustrated. I don't know who edited that shit, but y'all fucked up. And then above that, I got Katie at Texas, Shaq at LSU, Candace Parker, D Brown from Illinois. That was my first favorite college basketball team when they went to the national championship and lost to Sean May. That shit pissed me off. I used to love Illinois. But yeah, what's up, man? If y'all got questions, y'all could just go right away. I don't really got a topic for today. I'm really just preparing for AAU stuff, like two boys teams, two girls teams. I'm coaching I'm coaching two boys teams and I'm coaching one of the girls teams, our top girls team, which I'm excited, man. Like the girls team is probably going to be the most talent I've ever coached up to this point as far as like team, because I've always been coaching like a couple talented kids within a team, and there's never been like this team is good top to bottom, you know what I'm saying? So that's going to be my first year doing that, and so I'm excited for that, because then it's like I don't have to worry about if somebody can't execute certain skills all the time, because that's always been the hardest thing, you know what I mean? And I'm really excited to like implement the type of offense I want. And, my thing is like, I don't want to overthink it. Cause like when you have a lot of talent, the thing that you got to do as a coach is really kind of stay out of the way. And so like, that's going to be my goal, is like put them in position to succeed and be like, y'all can dictate how these things go. And I'm just going to be sitting back here and I'll problem solve from a higher level. And I won't be trying to direct your every move, which I don't try to do that anyway. But my thing is like, I really don't want to interfere with the flow of the game. Like that's my number one goal always as a coach, to be honest, because it's not my job to do that. They actually got to go out there and play. But yeah, what questions y'all got, man? Hit me with some questions. Who's my favorite NBA scorer right now today? Kevin Durant for the Phoenix Suns. Like, is that a real question? You probably don't know, because that's my favorite team though. That's been my favorite team my whole life. So yeah, Kevin, we got the best scorer in the world right now. Well, I think the best scorer is probably Luka. I got to give him that. He's number one scorer in the world right now. But KD is number two. I'll take it. So the fact that one of my favorite players is on my favorite team now, I mean, I can't ask for more. You know, did I peep the Kyrie game? No, I didn't. I missed it. I saw the game winner though with the left. That's crazy from like 15 feet out over Jokic. That's nuts. That's fucking nuts, man. Oh my bad, I missed your question. Said how to stay positive while constantly dealing with adversity while barely experiencing success. It's how you're defining it. It's how you're defining it. So like the thing is, two people can go through the same experience and come away with two totally different takes on it. And so you have to figure out how to look at your experience in a way that's positive for you. If you look at every single thing that happens to you as like, oh, this sucks, or man, I can never do anything right, or whatever, then you're gonna keep experiencing that. But if you can get to a place to where it's like, okay, just look at it objectively and take what you can that's good from it. So maybe you haven't been playing well in the last game. Like if you just look at it and be like, okay, instead of thinking, oh, this sucks, you could just think, okay, I know what I got to work on. Like I didn't shoot well, so I know I got to work on shooting. So that's helpful. It's helpful that you played bad, so then you can recognize what you have to work on. Like you got something good out of that instead of just thinking it's all bad all the time. You know what I mean? And so that's like really how you got to do it, is you got to change your perspective on what's happening. Because for me, when I was younger, like when the times I thought I should have been on varsity or whatever, I should have got more minutes or anything like that, I never, for one, I just think I was ignorant to the fact of like thinking it was my fault all the way. But the benefit of me thinking of it that way was I was just thinking, okay, I got to work harder. I got to get faster. I got to play better defense. I got to get more athletic. I got to shoot better. I got to do all these things. Like that's how I kind of took my experiences of adversity and things that just didn't go my way or me not making certain teams. I just thought of it as like, okay, I got to do something different. And so I took ownership of that and just started to work out more. So the positive I took from that was like, I knew what I needed to work on. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether I deserved it or not. And so I really think that's what it is. You got to just change how you look at it and take the positives where you can find them and scrap everything else. Do I rock with the ACC? I mean, I'm not big into college that much, honestly. Like I'm a Kentucky fan. So since John Wall, so that's been my team since then. Obviously I said before I used to like Illinois with D Brown and Darren Williams and Luther Head and them. I think I remember them right. But yeah, I don't. College basketball, like I don't know if y'all saw that video that I retweeted or reposted with JJ Redick, where he's like, they run a lot of meaningless actions. And if you're in my academy, I say this 1,000 fucking times when I was reviewing college basketball. It's just so much meaningless action. Just like 4 handoffs and a down screen into a pick and roll that didn't even work. And so like I can't watch college basketball that much, I'll watch Kentucky and them, but other than that, I don't give a shit. I'll probably review some tourney games, Katie's the best scorer of all time. Aesthetically, maybe. Actually, probably not. What's your strategy for getting past pesky shorter defenders who can beat you in a foot race? Don't try to beat them with speed. Just get to certain spots. Like play a slow game. But then you got to catch them off guard or you got to shift. Like you can't play a straightforward game. You got to learn how to switch styles. I think I said this before. Like style switching is important. So like, do you know how to cross over like Iverson, or do you know how to cross over like Kyrie? Like those are two totally different styles. Like, can you cross over like Steph Curry? That's another style that's different. There's just different styles of how, and I really think there's only like two styles. You either play you play closer to Steph Curry or you play closer to Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? And so like you can see the difference in fluidity between both of them. Even though they're both elite at ball handling and elite at finishing, you can see the difference so clearly in how they move. I think those are really the only two styles that exist. Either you're like straight line, hard stops, or you're like up and you're shifty and you're changing your pace way more, which those two kind of blend. But at the end of the day, they both play on the opposite extremes of styles. Because Steph Curry's a shoot first, Kyrie's a drive first. but Steph's a hell of a driver and Kyrie's a hell of a shooter. So different defenders require different styles. I need to make that. I need to write different. This is gonna go into my book too. I'm writing a basketball book, which me coaching this year is gonna help me a lot. Because as I say the rules that I constantly say, I'm just gonna be writing them down in a notepad every practice, and then I'm gonna just have this accumulation of basketball rules to play by. And the thing of, different defenders require different styles. I think that's neat. People need to know that. You can't have your one package and think that's going to beat everybody. It don't work like that. Your favorite team's the Nets. You missed the ISO gang. The Nets, they botched that shit, man. I wanted that. They should have been good at least 1 year. But that's how shit happens, man. So your favorite players on your favorite team? Bro, it's the best. It's the best. It hasn't been like that since Steve Nash days. Steve Nash was my favorite player and the Suns were my favorite team. Because those both blended. So they're the reason I became a fan of basketball, was just watching them. And so Steve Nash was automatically my favorite player. That's how I learned to pass. Miss ISO Harden. He's still nice. That's the crazy thing. He's still nice and no one's talking about it. The people no one talk about in the league is how good Harden's playing and how good Kyrie is playing. No one talks about that shit. No one. And they play they're still killing. Kyrie's averaging 25. No one's saying a word. So college ball is better than the NBA. I think college ball is just it feels like it's 2001 when I watch college basketball. It's just they haven't figured out give your best player the ball 80% of the time. And they still run them sets, man. I can't do with them sets. You recognize the wall. You learn so much. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And that's why I make these videos, man. I don't really I don't get a ton of benefit. They pay me a little bit on TikTok to make videos, and I haven't even been making them. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm out here trying to grind it out for the money. But, I'm just happy people are watch my videos and they do what I say and it works. It's just that's I can't ask for anything more than that for you to go do the thing that I'm telling you. I don't think it's enough just hearing it. It's go try it. 90% of basketball is mental. Yeah. Probably more than that. Probably 99, if I'm being honest. Because you got to get yourself to do the physical part, and so that's mental. So I don't think there's any part of it that's not mental, but it's all mental at the end of the day. Because you're not going to be athletic unless you go and do the work. But obviously you can become athletic by just playing games and doing shit. That's how I got athletic. My footwork was so good. I just played sports every single day, and I was outside playing tag, skating. I say this all the time, playing soccer, volleyball, softball, baseball, football. I played every fucking ball there is, tennis. Literally, I've played every sport that there was from all through middle school. So my hand-eye coordination was on point. My feet were on point. My balance was on point because I did everything. But I think, one of the most underrated things, when it comes to bodily awareness, which I think this is not talked about enough, is the awareness of what your feet are doing at any moment in time, or just what your body's doing, or where you're holding the ball, and just different things like that. The awareness of that is gained through, especially with the feet, I think it's gained through doing semi-dangerous things as a kid. And what I mean by that, I don't know if anybody still does this or y'all have done this when y'all were young. If you've ever walked on a icy lake, or if you've ever just walked on a ledge that was kind of high, or climbed on something that was kind of high and dangerous, doing a bunch of dangerous shit, skating down hills on roller skates or skateboards, or having bike races and you're going 100 miles an hour down this steep ass hill. Doing all of these dangerous things increases your awareness to where you don't want to mess up, because you're gonna get hurt, or you're gonna fall and break your fucking arm or slap your face on the ground. I've slammed my face on ice before, and so doing all those dangerous things, I think it gave me a different level of awareness when it comes to my body and how exactly it's moving and things like that. And I just think if you've never done things like that, you're not going to have that level of awareness. It's people that do rock climbing and shit like that. Like they're just so comfortable on different heights, and just like they can hang off a balcony no problem, because it's like they hung on a fucking rock 100 feet up. It's like, what's a balcony to them? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it's like, yeah, I'm always on balance because I've skated going like 20 miles an hour down a hill on rollerblades. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing, hopefully there's not a fucking car coming around the corner. You know, my awareness is just different. And so I think, I don't know if I wouldn't recommend anybody to like go and start doing dangerous things, but I just think pushing your boundary when it comes to doing things that are like scary physically will increase your awareness, because you have no choice but to be more aware of where your body is and where your hands are placed or your feet are placed at all times. And you just gain a level of sensitivity, you know, that I think a lot of people just don't have, to be honest with you. I think that's why I'm really good in the paint, because like I'm so sensitive to touch. So if somebody's pushing me, I know how to push them so they're out of the way. I know how to like get around box outs and like do all these things. And I think it comes from that. So it's just something super underrated. And I think I want to say my point with that might be, maybe if you have kids one day, it's like, let them do dangerous shit, which means like obviously don't put their fucking life in danger, but like if they're riding their bike down a hill or riding their skateboard down the hill, it's like, okay, let them do that. If they trip and fall and bust their knee open like I did, they'll be okay, I'm pretty sure. But I think just the fear of danger is so rampant. And it's like, I don't know how young kids are going to survive in the next 10 years. It's like, y'all parents don't let y'all do shit. Y'all can't even barely walk outside. I was outside every day when I was 10. Oh, I don't even know. I was just walking all over the place. My mom didn't know where I was at. You know what I mean? But it's like, it increases my awareness of situations and knowing what's dangerous and what's not. And just my potential of trusting myself. How do I feel about the Mavs' actions lately? I didn't watch that game today, but I just know that they're going to struggle because Luka doesn't play no defense. And obviously Kyrie's not the best defender in the world, but it's like, if you got two guards that ain't locking up, or at least making the attempt to, good luck. And they don't have a real rim protector. So it's just like, they're going to get scored on at will. They'll be lucky to make it out the first round. They'll probably win the play-in if they're in the play-in, just because like you got two nukes out the 1 and 2, but they're not winning anything significant until Luka personally decides to play defense. They are not winning anything. Your best player has to play defense to win championships. It's just, they at least have to make the attempt to do so. Like, you can't just be out there. Like, so that's what I think about the Mavs' actions. They are what I knew they were going to be. How can I be more confident once the season starts? I talk about confidence like every day, bro. It's action breeds confidence. If you are not confident, it's because you're not doing the thing. So whatever you're not confident in, get up and go do it. It's that simple. And be okay with being bad at first. Most people are like embarrassed. And like, oh, they're embarrassed to be bad in front of people. It's like, for me, I don't care about being bad. And there's this like saying for people, anybody that makes creative things, it's not about the first thing that you make, it's about the editing of the thing. And so like, if you've been following me, I've had 5 different logos. I edit that shit all the time. I'll put out something, I'll make a video and I'll redo the video, or like I'll edit. It's all about editing, bro. It's not about what you do. And so when it comes to basketball, it's not about you doing it right on the first fucking try. It's doing it and then seeing what you got to edit within that. That's how you get the greatness. You know, most people are so stuck on trying to get everything right on the first try. Like, that shit ain't gonna happen. And so for me, I don't mind publicly putting things out there, because I can always change it later. If I put a thought out there, an idea out there, whatever it is, it's like, I know I can change that idea later, because it's like, oh, I used to think this, but then I learned that and that and that, and I watched this one video, and now my mind has changed a little bit, and I'm tweaking what I said before. I'm not afraid to do that. And so even when it comes to basketball, it's like, I'm not afraid to miss shots. It's like, I just got to edit and be like, okay, I'm missing because of this, so let me change my shot a little bit. Oh, I'm not getting past my defender because of this. Oh, I got ripped because of this, and let me edit how I'm doing things. That's the process. It's the editing. And so I have confidence in your ability to edit, not be right. How do you increase your court awareness and ball IQ? Play open gym every day for the next 300 days. And go to basketball camps and watch film study videos and apply the knowledge, and stop watching trainers and watch actual basketball and listen to basketball commentary during full games and listen to what they tell you about the game. I really think that's it. Who do I have winning the tourney? Houston. Said I wanted to coach Nebraska. I did. I don't know if I want to anymore, if I'm being quite honest with you. I did used to, though. I don't know how I feel about that anymore, if I want to actually coach Nebraska. I really don't know. I'll have to see if the opportunity presents itself. You know? What super team should have won it? The Nets. That year the Bucks won it when Kyrie got hurt. 100%. Lob City, no, they had no chance. They had no shot. Clay got to get it together. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to, this is like, I don't know what the Warriors are going to do after this year. I feel like they're going to try one more, but I don't think they should. Unless Clay is like, I'm going to get my ass in the gym and get right. And Draymond's like not going to get suspended. You know what I mean? And then they need to pick up, Wiggins needs to do something. Somebody's getting traded. Chris Paul's getting traded. Wiggins is probably getting traded. And then they're going to bring in like a fucking beast of a core. But I don't think you could just redo your whole team like that unless you're bringing in a superstar. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I like their pieces. I like Kuminga. I like Pajinski. I don't even know how to say his name still. I think that's how you say it. I think they're in the right direction. But they need you need a dominant wing. That's all it comes down to. You're not winning without a dominant wing. So Klay Thompson needs to get dominant. The reason they won in 22, Wiggins got dominant. He outplayed Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. He got dominant. So you're not winning without a wing or a guard center combo like a Kobe Shaq. But you need a 6'7" player that's gonna destroy, or you ain't winning shit. Advice on how to get into pro runs: network, go to as many open gyms as possible, talk to everybody, and get good as fuck at basketball. Where do your eyes look when you play? Related. My eyes look everywhere. I'm never looking at one thing specifically. Like, I'm just like seeing everything. So the same way you can see all these pictures at once, that's how I see the court. I'm not just like staring at one thing. I see everything. The one thing though, I do have a blind spot. When I'm running the fast break, I can't see near side corner. I just can't, because I'm always looking at the rim and everything to the left. So if my teammates open on the same side I'm on and they're in the corner, sometimes I literally do not see them. Unless they like yell and I'm like, oh shit, you're wide open, and I pass the ball. That's like one of my blind spots at times, especially when I get near half court. I can see it if I catch the ball and I'm bringing it up from the back court, but like if I catch the ball at half court, sometimes I literally just cannot see that corner. I don't know why. I've noticed that though when I play open gyms. And how do you develop peripheral vision? Fuck. I would say sometimes it comes down to practice. I'm trying to think. I don't really know. I don't have a good answer for that. Because like in practice, one thing you can do is play like a 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4, no dribbles, because then you got to look at every single thing that there is. But I think it's just your intention of wanting to use peripheral vision, and playing. I think playing solves so much, because you have to increase your awareness, and so like an infinite amount of playing will help. What's up, AR? What's the biggest NBA wasted potential? That's a good fucking question. Wasted potential. Zion. Should have been a fucking beast. But think how good he is and how good he could just be a monster. This shit scared the shit out of me. But Zion could be an absolute monster. But he's just, I don't know. He's not in shape. How do I get hundreds of shots up with no rebounder? That's a self-answering question. Go get hundreds of shots up with no rebounder. You just don't want to take the time, and you're impatient and you're lazy and you don't want to get the rebound. You're spoiled. How to make reading your defender an instinct? It's not there's no pure instinct when it comes to that. You still got to use your mind and observe. I don't like the notion of doing things without having to think. The only things you do without having to think is move your ball, move your feet and dribble the ball. And like your technique is instinct. Or your instinct is to avoid like a sudden reaction. But reading your defender is not a sudden reaction. You should be paying attention at all times so you know. You don't want to play off. You don't want to be a reactor. You want to know. I do this because I know he's out of position. I'm not reacting to anything. I know. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to play. It's a knowing, not an instinct. But to clarify that, your instincts are trained off of what you know. But you have to recognize the situation and know the situation. So if you know somebody's going to back tip you, then you know to dribble the ball a little bit more in front of you. Like that's the instinct itself. The instincts come from knowing. I feel teams try to get defenders if their best player doesn't play defense. I mean, it sounds good in theory until you... Defense is just like a prerequisite. I don't get why like we put this fucking label on scorers like they're not capable of defense. Everybody is capable of defense. It's just, do you actually fucking practice defense or not? Which I know Luke ain't in the gym doing defensive slides, bro. But Kobe was. And Kobe averaged 35. So, and was first team all defense plenty of times. So I don't want to hear that shit of like, if you're an offensive player, you shouldn't play defense. The new age people that are offensive players have tricked y'all into thinking that it's okay for them to not play defense. Nobody was doing that shit when I grew up. T-Mac was playing defense. Like Iverson couldn't play defense, but he was playing defense at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to get out there and get a stop. But there wasn't just some like top level scorer that was just like, nah. Like there's a couple, but now it's like rampant. It's like if you're a bucket, you're gonna get served on the other end. Like that. LeBron wasn't doing that. Kobe wasn't doing that. T-Mac wasn't fucking doing that. But the top players today, they're gonna get cooked. Don't make no sense. I'll give KD some props. So this is underrated. I want to find the clips, but it's gonna be so fucking tedious. But KD has been playing his ass off defensively this year. And I'm going to make a video on it because he has really been playing his ass off. Like real effort. Like helping, sliding, trying to get the block. Like trying to get in front. Really stopping some shit. And so I got to give KD his props because I noticed that early on in the season. He's really out there playing defense. And so like that's what. This other shit. I don't know this other shit. When making move on a defender, are you reading a certain foot? I'm reading positioning as a whole. Hand placement, foot placement, momentum. And I know I already try to get a read on their speed. I already try to get a read on if they jump. Sometimes I just test them. I'll do a couple jab steps, see what they go for. It just depends. But I'm looking at positioning as a whole. Like positioning is the whole game. How are they positioned? And how close are they to me? How far? Are they hyper? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at. Explain how the pivot foot works, please. Oh, fucking A. Like, I'm not explaining that. That's like first grade, bro. Go to a basketball camp for that shit. You keep it down. That's how it works. But the foot that moves, you can jump off of it if you're shooting or passing. I'll give you that. Everything else, there's not much to explain. Kyrie's the most skilled player ever. Or skilled scorer ever. Kobe had more tiers to his scoring. Kyrie's just looks better. You about to watch my how to shoot video and rebuild your jump shot? Good luck, bro. Good luck. You might not have to rebuild it totally. Just send me a video of your jump shot. You might have to. I'd never recommend rebuilding because it's hard as fuck. So like if you don't have to rebuild your jump shot, don't. Is Ant a top 10 player this year? Nope. I just don't see it. Top 10 players. Steph still, LeBron still, KD still, Jokic, Shai Gilgeous, Luka, Tatum, Embiid, but he's been hurt. I'll still throw him in there because he's gonna play. So Embiid, the last two spots. I gotta look at some shit. Hold on. NBA Western Conference standings. Oh, Kawhi and Harden still better. I think De'Aaron Fox is better right now. Devin Booker's better than him. Yeah, fuck no. No, hell no. That was just Western Conference. Eastern Conference standing. Giannis. Yeah, hell no. No. Anthony Edwards is not top 10 nothing. I don't care what place he's in. The Hawks have been first place in the East. They didn't have a top 10 on their team. I'm not saying he's bad, but how do you practice defense without actually guarding someone? I mean, you can only go so far. That's like, how do I practice scoring without actually going against a defender? You're asking me that. You can only go so far. But like defensive slides, footwork drills, understanding positioning. You're in 9th grade and you didn't make the AAU team this year. How bad is this for me? I don't know because I don't know you. You might just have to train. Or you're just like you don't have enough talent. You have like no coordination. I don't know. If you're not making the team in 9th grade, you got to look at some shit seriously and figure out where you're going wrong. You either don't do enough reps and you don't have a plan, or you don't have enough experience, or you never had a good coach. You don't have enough confidence. I don't know. Ant plays both sides. Yeah, he does. Did I hear about Plano East? You asked me that before. No. I don't pay attention to nothing, dude. I don't watch nothing. I pay attention to the league I helped run and the kids I'm helping train and the teams I'm helping operate and the content I'm putting out and my sister. Like, I don't pay attention to shit. You know, I don't know what anybody's doing at any given time unless I just happen to, unless just luck of the draw, I saw it. Other than that, I ain't paying attention to nothing, bro. No, you don't go and react. You read. Yes, people are standing. How are you going to tell me? Said people aren't standing there saying, what's their positioning? This is the thing I said before. Y'all think when I say thinking that it's like this long thought out process of thinking. That's not how it works. It's quick. It's lightning fast. And if you don't know anything about positioning, you're probably not that good at basketball. Kyrie has said this before. I posted that clip before because people argue this all the fucking time. And then he lists off 7 things that he pays attention to all at once. And it's a 0.5 second decision. So you don't know what you don't know. How to work on body deception. It's not body deception. It's mental. It's mental deception. All right, last round of questions. Y'all got 4 minutes because I'm about to go get something to eat. I'm hungry as hell. I've been fasting, though. For Ramadan, I've been fasting. I haven't been doing everything I should be doing when it comes to that, like all the prayers. I still pray, obviously. I've been eating dates. Somebody told me to buy some dates, so I bought a bag of dates. That's what I was eating when I started the stream. If you saw me, like, spit out a seed. But yeah, fasting though, bro, fasting. No, I'm not Muslim. I'm never gonna officially convert, but I just like some of their practices. It's like I meditate, but I'm not a Buddhist. I'm not Hindu or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I pray to God every day, but I'm not Christian. So, you know, I try not to break it down into things that are divisive, which religion can be divisive if people let it. Instead of just being like, oh, all these books say be a good person and do good things and be positive and think good thoughts. But they're like, they break it down to the most minuscule fucking thing and they're judging everybody when in the book it says literally don't judge. Mind blowing. It's like the biggest lesson in the book people ignore, or you know, in all them books. It blows my mind, dude. It really does. Like how people can read all these books and not actual real practice thing. It's like, yeah, this book says don't judge and love your neighbor and all these things. And then somebody does something and they're judging the shit out of them. You shouldn't be doing that if you're not a real Christian or whatever. And you can't do this. And God said, it's like, okay. So you probably should go read that book again, bro. But back to my point. The fasting, bro, I swear. Because I've been wanting to fast anyway. I've just been like super lazy about it. My focus level has been on 1,000. Has been on an absolute, and it's perfect timing because I got so much stuff going on that I have to like lock in and focus. But if you don't eat, for any of you that don't fast, don't eat until 5, just tomorrow. Just wake up. Do not eat anything until 5 p.m. Don't drink a juice, nothing. Like if you're going to have anything, water only. I haven't even drinking water because it's no food and water for Ramadan. And usually I just do like no food. But I promise you tomorrow, if you wake up and go the whole day until like 5 or 6 p.m. without eating, this is what I want you, this is your experiment. Do that and write how you felt all day. Like maybe even try it for 2 days straight. The second day when you don't eat all day until 5, you're going to feel better that day. But then after you eat, like just write down how you feel. I promise you your mind's going to be fucking foggy and you're going to be like unfocused and all these other things. And just notice how crazy of a shift that is. It's really crazy when you don't eat how focused you are. But like once you start eating bread and shit, and it just fogs up your mind because everything has sugar in it. That's really the hack. I'm going into some shit since this is the end of the stream. But yeah, we'll talk about some other shit since the end of the stream. I'll give you a couple more minutes. But like, bro, sugar is like the number one drug. People always think, oh, it's cigarettes and like all these other shit, alcohol. Bro, it's sugar runs the world. If you stop eating sugar, your life will be different. I remember Tim Grover telling this story of he had this athlete, and with all his athletes, he like takes them off sugar. Like that's his first thing. And he can always tell when people aren't doing it because they come to practice and they're just out of it mentally because they almost have no energy. Their body's trying to find a different energy source that's not sugar. And he said he had this athlete that couldn't figure out why he wasn't losing weight. And after all these workouts, and so they went through like everything he was doing. And this fool was drinking like a gallon of orange juice a day. And he's like, oh, this is why you ain't losing weight. You're drinking all this sugar. And it's just like, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's better for your skin. It's just all around better. And I be trying my best to not eat sugar, but I'm addicted, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That shit's too good. What am I gonna eat? I don't even know, bro. Food is like my number one struggle in life. I don't know what I want to eat. When you get older, you'll understand. I don't know how old a lot of you are, but when your parents stop making food for you and they don't give you options, bro, and you got to figure out what you want to eat every single day, it's the biggest task. It's the most annoying task. Of like, damn, I got to eat again today. So it's like, and then you end up eating the same shit. You know. Why did I play such a low level of ball? Because I think I've told this story a billion times, but I break it down into like one simple factor was I did not have a mentor telling me to do the right things, like telling me, okay, you got to go play for this team, or stop playing for the YMCA in 8th grade, like go to this school instead and do these things and play against this competition and all this other stuff. Like I knew how to train. Like that's the one thing I didn't know how to do. I knew how to fucking train, and so I was good on an individual skill basis. But I just didn't know how to navigate. Like no one ever told me this is how you make it to college. This is how you get recruited. You got to get your film from high school. You got to make a mixtape and you got to send it out to coaches and you got to network. You got to do all these things. It's like, I didn't fucking know that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just out there thinking if I just get as good as I possibly can, something's going to happen. And that shit don't work like that. You know, when people say build it and they will come. No, bro. I could build a pyramid in my room right now that creates like I don't even know. But people ain't coming to see that because they don't know about it. So it's all about marketing yourself. And I just didn't know. I didn't know who to talk to or who to ask or how to ask or when to ask. I didn't know shit. So that's just number one why I played a low level. But other shit, like I got surgery when I was a senior in high school. I played at a couple bad schools and I didn't transfer just because I didn't know I didn't want to make an excuse. I think that's another thing. It's like I couldn't differentiate between a valid reason and an excuse, because some people, when you give valid reasons for things, so like when I say, okay, I didn't have a mentor to teach me how to do all these things and go this way, you can either look at that as a valid reason or an excuse. You know what I'm saying? And so when I was young, I couldn't tell the difference between those two things. And a lot of the times, if I were to complain or speak up and be like, yo, why ain't I playing more? Like, why ain't I doing this? Or like, why isn't the coach doing this for me? I didn't want to feel like a complainer. I didn't want to feel like I was making excuses. So I would just work harder. I would just put in more hours. I would just put in more time and more focus and all these other things, instead of like looking at my situation and be like, okay, this is actually unfair situation. I should actually leave. You know what I'm saying? And so that's another thing a mentor is important for, because when you're young, you just don't know the difference between those two things. And some people, I went the opposite. Like everybody makes excuses, and I went the opposite way. And I'm like, I'm not making no excuse. I don't give a fuck that I had knee surgery. I don't care. I don't give a fuck that it didn't heal how I needed it to heal. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care that my coach didn't let me play XYZ. I don't care. I'm just gonna keep doing all these things, and something's gonna happen. When in reality, I should have just been like, yo, this ain't. I'm in a bad situation. I'm out. You know. But back then, I thought that would have been an excuse. Today, the older me, that's a valid reason to leave somewhere. I'm in 8th grade. How should I prepare to make varsity as a freshman? Play 17U this summer. That's the one thing that's like the only hack you got right now, because summer's coming up, and so you need to play 17U. Do I think the world is ending? Not in the way that most people think of it, like shit blowing up and nukes hitting and all that bullshit. It's ending, but not how the movies show it's ending. And if you pay close enough attention, which I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but if you pay close enough attention, you can just tell, like, shit's happening, bro. The game is over. The little game that everybody been playing, all the people up top and all them people in power been playing, that little game they've been playing for the last whatever how many years, that shit is over. That game is fucking over. Because everything they do backfires. That's how you know it's over, bro. It's like the bad guy that keeps like stepping on his own trap. Or they set up an ambush and then they fall for it themselves. You know, that game's over. Can I talk more about faking your intention? Yeah, I'll go into it a little bit. Like when it comes to intention, you can't do things knowing that it's a fake. I think that's the biggest thing, is like people shot fake and they know for a fact they are not shooting that shot. And so for me, if I'm smart enough as a defender, I can tell when you're actually going to shoot it and when you're not going to shoot it. And if you play defense on like young players, play defense on somebody that's really young and watch their fakes. You just know when their fake is going to be a fake or when it's going to be real. You could just tell. And so when it comes to you, is everything has to be open. Like everything has to be available. Everything has to be an option or a possibility. Like you can't just say, okay, no matter what, I'm not going right, but I'm a fake right. It's like, why fake right if you're not going to go? I think that's the biggest key I can give you, is like keep all your options open at all times. And when you start to use fakes with that mindset involved, you'll see a difference. I should have a team in Texas. Nah, that's too much work, bro. I mean, I'll have a team that people can come travel to and play in Nebraska at some point, maybe next year. Need to gain weight? You better start drinking protein and lifting weights. The way to gain muscle is lower weight, a lot of reps. To gain strength, it's a lot of weight, lower reps. So that's why bodybuilders aren't stronger than people who do calisthenics. Because bodybuilders just build up the muscle, the aesthetic of the muscle instead of the actual strength within it. You know, it's like, what's stronger, a bolt or a blanket? The blanket's bigger, but a bolt is stronger. Good books, good basketball books that are good reads. I don't know, bro. I can't even lie to you. Read The Inner Game of Tennis. It's not a basketball book, but it's a good book. What are some ways to prepare for the game? Hell if I know. I think you got to know yourself. It's just Just whatever gets you ready. I think preparation happens before. So if you're trying to get ready day of and you don't feel ready, like for me, I was always ready for a game at any time. Like they got me on the phone. Hey, you got to play this game in an hour. Come to the gym. I'm ready. I'll just stretch, get warmed up, shoot some shots, work on my handle a little bit, and I'm ready to go. But I practiced for thousands of hours to be that. If Kyrie walks in the gym tomorrow, he's ready to go. Is Hunter Salas NBA ready? I'll have to look, but probably. But the NBA is hard as fuck. Like a lot of people take for granted how hard the actual NBA is. Like think of the 3 best players on every single college team put together. And then it's twice as hard as that. If not more. Tips on finishing against help or clogged paint, floaters. How do you play 17U? You better find a team. Play up. Like for me, when I make my team, like last year we had a kid that was going into 8th grade as one of the students I trained, or he's going into 9th grade and he played on my 17U. And he's probably one of the leading scorers in our last tournament. And he's on the top Nebraska team for 15U. So that's why we did that. It's like you're about to play 17U this year. I know you just got out of 8th grade, but you got to figure it out. And he's going to be one of the best players in Nebraska because of that. Thoughts on recent comments from Ryan Garcia? I haven't seen every single thing that he said, but I'll put it this way. I don't know if y'all are young enough to remember this or old enough to remember this, but back in the day when Dave Chappelle quit his comedy show, go watch his interviews and go watch what they said about him. They literally called Dave Chappelle a crackhead, and he moved to Africa. And he's like, you don't got to go to Africa to smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? That's one of his jokes. But people believed it. You know what I'm saying? And so me knowing that at the age of like 12, that they would lie on Dave Chappelle and make him look like something that he's not, they're willing to do it to anybody. But why are they doing it to anybody is the question, so you can unravel that for yourself. Why do you dribble and shoot good in workouts, but it don't translate to the game? Because you're not for real. Your heart ain't in it. You're not doing it against people on a maximum intense level for a long enough time. And you're afraid to be yourself. Fail or succeed. You know what I'm saying? You got to be yourself when you fail. You got to be yourself when you succeed. Both are okay. So you got to take that risk of shooting that shot and doing that move. But if your heart ain't in it, every rep, good luck. I see people that work out every week with a trainer. Their heart ain't in it. Their shit ain't translating. I know why it ain't translating. You're just not in it, bro. You're not real enough. That's what I always say. You got to be real as fuck. Like you think an NBA superstar ain't real? You're not making it that far. You're not going to be the best of the best of the best if you're not real with yourself. Just ain't fucking happening. How do you get faster? Lift weights, sprint, plyometrics, all type of shit. And go on YouTube, man. Go on YouTube and I feel like a lot of people ask, especially when it comes to the body, it's different when it comes to basketball because there's so much bullshit out there. But when it comes to the body of how to get faster, there's just a lot of simple ways. You don't got to do anything fancy, but it's just how to get faster, to enter, how to get stronger, enter, workout programs, enter, stretching programs, enter, how to get bounce, enter. When I was a young kid, I found one program and I did that program and I went from rim grazer to catch and oops. And it's the program that's actually on my website, which I got to fix. Damn it. I got to fix my website, but it's under free resources. The website, the workout I put up there is the workout I bought when I was 17. And I got way faster and I jumped way higher after I did that workout. What helps you on the court be more consistent when making decisions? Consciousness, awareness, knowing what's going on at all times. It's confusing because there's people that say there's some bull. I mean, you also got to try it, you know what I'm saying? But like, you can always do the basic push-ups, pull-ups, squats, hamstring curls, calf raises. You can just go to the basics, bro. There's just the basics. Lunges, like, start with the basics. And go to ATG, Athletic Truth Group. I say that all the time. Do you think you should be making a schedule for the off season? That's up to you. That's up to you. For me, I have so many routines programmed into my mind that I just never needed it. And so it's like I could show up to the court right now and go through a routine front to back without having to read it off a piece of paper. And I'm good at making shit up on the fly. Cause I don't know. I've done so many workouts. I just understand what needs to be done at this point where it's like, I don't need a plan. I have plans in my mind. I just know what you got to work on. So know what you got to work on before you make a plan. Don't just make a plan and hoping it's going to get you better, you know? But, other than that, I'm out. Let me see some last messages. What should be my last message? What should I leave y'all with? I think the one thing that a lot of people should know or should hear, I think just don't be afraid to struggle or be at a lowest. Like, that's one of the most, you don't even know how good it feels to go from struggling to good. You just don't understand it. And nobody wants to go through that process. Everybody wants to be good. Everybody wants to be on the best team. And they want to play on the highest level. And they don't want to put no fucking work in up front. My bad, I should be dropping F-Tom. Rob. They don't want to put no effing work in up front. And, you know, they're afraid of perception of being like, well, I play for this team and this team isn't that good. And, well, how are people going to view me if I'm playing for a team that's not that good? It's like, fucking develop your skills, bro. Like, you got to be, eventually you're going to have to face the truth. That's really what it comes down to. It really does. And so all those people who hitchhike and bandwagon on other people's teams and, you know, and on this good team, okay, I'm going to play for this good team. I'm going to be the 8th man over here. And then I'm going to go play for another good team. And I'm going to go to a good college. And I'm going to be the 10th man in college. Eventually, you're going to have to face the fucking truth and come to a realization that you got to develop skills and get better and go through the fucking fire and the struggle and the getting knocked down and the getting pushed and the micro failures and all that shit, bro. People aren't willing to do that. They're fucking scared of perception and how it's going to look or how they're going to feel when things don't go right or they're getting ripped in practice because they actually got to figure out how to beat somebody one-on-one full court and they're scared of pressure. And it's like they're just running from all this shit, bro. You got to face the truth of who you are for real and really just like embrace it. Embrace the fact that you're not good. Embrace the fact that you need to learn how to shoot. Embrace the fact that you can't handle pressure or you're bad on defense or you're not ready for the top level. Embrace it and just know this is what it is, because no matter how you view it or whatever, it is what it is. You're not ready whether you want to accept it or not. But it's only the ones that can face that truth and knowing like, okay, I'm not that good. I'm not ready. So I got to do X, Y, and Z to get there. But if you're not even willing to say to yourself, and be truthful to yourself about who you are as a basketball player and a person right now today, you're not going to see any progress. It's just not going to fucking happen. And I know this from my own experience. I had to look myself in the mirror in 10th grade and be like, okay, I'm too fucking slow. I can't jump high. I'm bad on defense. I can't make mid-ranges. I struggle against pressure. I'm not smart enough. All these things that I had to like face at 16 years old and realize, okay, I got to do a lot more shit. I got to really like hit the weights for real. I got to really put up more shots for real. I got to train and run sprints and get in shape for real. I'm tired of having asthma and using my fucking inhaler and can't play 4 minutes straight in a quarter and while sprinting and like doing all this shit. And so I got better after that because I was willing to face the truth. And if you're not willing to do that shit, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You're going to fail. You're not going to reach where you want to reach if you can't face the truth. I'm going to sit here and tell all 19 of you that's what it is. And so you can believe it, or you can just keep trying to finagle your way to the top and run from the fact that you got to work on your fucking game for real every single day with passion and consistency and effort and pain. Like, people don't want to embrace the pain of running 25 sprints. They don't want to embrace the pain of doing a burnout on the bench press or doing push-ups until your muscles fucking actually hurt. and then you got to do another one after they hurt. They don't want to embrace the pain of that every single fucking day. And that's why most people are average. And if you listen to what I'm saying and you're willing to go through the pain of watching yourself miss 47 mid-ranges in a row or whatever the fuck, like I had to do in order to get my mid-range jump shot down and shoot bricks all fucking summer. If you're not willing to go through the pain of all of those things, you're not going to be shit. I promise.